Hey, hello, good evening, happy Thursday. This is y'all's favorite real estate diva, Miss Lisa Robinson, out here in these real estate streets, getting ready to talk to you. But today we're going to talk about some laws that have changed because some new laws went into effect this week, this month, I should say, in wholesaling. And I'm gonna be honest, a couple of wholesalers have already reached out to me this week, and they've already broken the law. So, so I mean, if I was gonna be that type of person, which I'm not, I don't blow nobody. Crazy part. I don't blow anybody in for breaking laws and doing what they do. That's on you, partner. I don't have it to do. I don't have it to do. Grab your pens, grab your papers, get ready to take some notes because content is about to begin, and we're going to get ready with this. Get ready with we're gonna get down with the get down, pretty much. That's how that work. I'm trying to figure out, yeah, my do not disturb is on, so why am I getting beeps and buzzers through my phone, through my computer? I don't know. So we are talking about the laws that recently changed with wholesaling because I don't want y'all out here getting crazy and then y'all be sitting here wondering why things didn't go the way they were supposed to go for you. This will be why. So for right now, my name is Lisa Robinson. I am the founder and creator of Keys, Deeds, and Profits and the Creative Wealth Academy. Creative Wealth Academy is a 12-month program where you can create your wealth through real estate. That is what we do in these streets. At least we try to. So first, let me say this. We know that when you wholesale real estate, that is not all that I do. It's not all that I do. It's not all that I do, but it's something that I am doing right now. The reason I am wholesaling real estate right now is because, just to give you a little backstory, I was married to my business partner. Yes, my ex-husband is my business partner. We were partners for 22 years in real estate. We literally started buying houses pretty much right after we got married. And we had accumulated a lot of properties. We had a good cash flow coming in. We didn't need to do a lot of things that we did. But when we divorced, we had to liquidate. So we liquidated and separated. So now I am wholesaling to rebuild because I don't want to use my credit. I don't want to use a lot of my cash. So I am doing what we call creative financing strategies. And in order to get the cash that I want, to get the loans that I need, to put down on the seller financing deals that I need, and to purchase lease options and subject twos, I am wholesaling real estate to stack that cash. And that's just how it is. I'm going to rebuild. The goal this year, just so y'all know, the goal this year is to help 20 people become six-figure wholesalers and another 20 people to have a seven-figure portfolio. Value, cash value. If they were to sell it, they could make seven figures. That's what the goal is this year. I want to make out of that, I want to make another 60 people enter these real estate streets in other ways. Now, I will say this. I honestly believe, do I think wholesaling will die? No. But I honestly believe wholesaling will be so regulated in the next 5 to 10 years that it's going to be hard for wholesalers. So that's why I'm going to teach you in the Creative Wealth Academy. We teach you what to do next. And I'm also starting to introduce them into other avenues where they can make money, and the streets aren't that crowded. Traffic in the streets is not that jam packed. So that's what we're doing in the Creative Wealth Academy. First things first. Again, like I said, my name is Lisa Robinson. I am y'all's favorite real estate diva out here in these real estate streets. I've been slutting it up in these streets for the past 26 years. This week has been tough. I'm sorry I didn't come back on a long time, but we had a lot going on with our family, and we had a lot going on with the business. So this is the first time I've been able to get back on since probably, I think, Monday or Tuesday. I know I didn't come on yesterday. I think it's Monday or Sunday or Monday, probably. But anywho, anyhow, now I told you guys that I am planning to have 20 people in these real estate streets with me, become six-figure wholesalers. But I'm going to teach you to do it the right way because that's what we do. Okay, that's what we do. So I want you guys to grab a pen, grab your papers. You don't need calculators tonight. We're just going to go over the laws and the changes that were made in this new law because I want y'all to understand it. Okay, pumpkins. All right, now get y'all pens and papers out because y'all be sitting here looking at me like I did you wrong, and I'm not doing wrong. I'm trying to get you right. The first thing you will not do in these real estate streets is call anybody after 9 o'clock. That's rule change number one. They've just put down a regulation on us, and it's from, hold on, let me pull up my notes because y'all know your girl got plenty of notes on the topic. Okay. Now, what we're doing is this. Let me make sure. Okay. TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, is a law that was enacted. It regulates how real estate wholesalers can contact sellers, buyers, and investors. Okay, through phone calls, text messages, and automated dialers. So if you have a dialer that you use, or if your VA has a dialer that they use, they have to follow this law. Non-compliance can lead to fines and legal action. Now, here's what you need to know. Consent. Consent requirements for text messages and phone calls. The first thing is this: code calling, manually dialing. That means you pick up your cell phone, you dial in the number. That's a manual dial. And auto dial is when you call through a dialer. I don't care if you manually sitting there clicking a button, it's still calling through a dialer. Okay, pumpkins? All right. Now, in order to manually call, you can manually call a prospect without prior consent. That means you can pick up your phone and call them without having their prior written permission. Okay? Now, but you must honor the do not call registry, so you need to scrub your list. If you pull a list from PropStream, and I know I told you guys I was going to go and show you guys PropStream, and I plan to, but this law change came out, and I want to do PropStream in a Zoom and not on a live stream because it would be better. I'll still keep it free for you guys, but we're going to have to do it on Zoom because it's better to do it on the Zoom. Okay? So we'll probably do that Monday or Tuesday night. All right? Now, to manually dial, and if you see me looking to my left, that's because that's where my notes are. Now, if you're going to manually dial, you pull your list from PropStream, you get it skip traced, and then you start dialing. Picking up your phone, making one call after the other. Right? That's manually calling. Now, what that does for you is you can do that as long as you don't call somebody who's on the do not call list. Oh boy, here we go, Delisa, with this bull crap, right? I know that's what y'all thinking, but stop thinking that because there's a loophole and a way around almost everything. So I want y'all to understand what it is, okay? So manually dialing, picking up the phone, hey girl, how you doing? That's a manual dial. And dialer is what calls you when those robocalls that you get, that's what it's pretty much called, a robocall. So that means you cannot, if you are using a dialer, and as an example, for those of you who have your own dialers and you're using them, if you are using a dialer, let me see what my notes say. Batch dialers, mass texting, prior express written consent is required. That means if you are cold calling a list and using a dialer, you have to have the person you are calling their consent to be included in that dialer. Okay. Ringless voicemail drops, these are considered calls under the TCPA. The TCPA, for those of you who are just joining me, we're going over the laws that have recently changed for wholesalers. So, the TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, that means cold call. This started, I'm gonna tell you when this got big. In the early 90s, this law came down, and I'm gonna tell you why it came down. Because telemarketers were calling everybody and scamming them. Collectors were calling everybody, harassing them at work when they weren't supposed to be calling when they felt like it, saying they was gonna garnish them and come take their babies and everything else under the sun. That is why this law went into effect. Okay. Now I believe it was out there before, but they weren't enforcing nothing until y'all went crazy in the early 90s. Okay. Because everybody named mama had a telemarketing company. Everybody named mama now has a collection agency. So same thing, different programs, but you can't do that. You have to have written consent. Ringless voicemail drops. These are considered calls. So that means you are calling somebody and it goes right to voice, and you have it where it goes right to voicemail and you're dropping a message in their voicemail. You have to have, that's considered a phone call. And it's considered an automated call, and it requires prior express consent, meaning you have to have their consent. Sorry. Now, national, that means national and internal do not call list rules. You cannot call numbers on the national do not call registry unless you have prior consent or an established business relationship. An established business relationship. That's how collectors get away with it. You don't have an established business relationship because you haven't gotten in contact with them yet. Okay. You must maintain your own do not call list. So if somebody says, hey, don't call me anymore, don't call them anymore. It's just as simple. Don't call them anymore. And honor the opt out request. If they choose to opt out of your text message, you can't call them back to say why. They opted out. You can't call them anymore. You can't text them anymore. That's why these mass text companies that we have, that's why they honor that. And that's why they do that. Okay. Y'all with me? Hope so. Say, yeah, girl, we here. I'm just telling y'all. Don't call me and say, Delise, I got caught up and I got a $50,000 fine from the CFPB because somebody reported me to the CFPB for violating the TCPA. You can't do that. Okay. Now, another restriction. This is huge because you guys don't understand this rule. And I know you don't because I got a call last night at 11:54 p.m. 11:54 p.m. See, so this is when people wonder why I turn my do not disturb on at 9 o'clock, because y'all don't know how to pay attention to the rules. I'm trying to go to bed so I can be cuter tomorrow. And y'all sitting here doing God knows what. Who's calling you at midnight? Almost midnight? Really? To talk about a house? And they had a nerve to leave me a message. Couldn't hear the message. He mumbled through it, was loud in the background. It was ridiculous. Wholesalers. And I know it's a wholesaler. I'm gonna tell you how I know. Just because they called me at 11:54 at night. An investor ain't calling you that late at night. They sleep too. Okay, so you must maintain your own internal do not call list. So if they say do not call, you have to put it on a do not call list so that number doesn't filter back up through your system and then you get a violation. The safe harbor provision allows businesses a grace period up to update their list every 31 days. Got it? Okay. Time restrictions. This is the one, like I told y'all, 11:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want y'all to get ready to learn your time zones. because this is huge for you. I'm used to it because I spent 20 plus years working in collections on the phones, and I know I can't call certain people before 8 o'clock in the morning unless they give me permission to. And even then, I still couldn't because our system wouldn't allow us to call out. Okay, I had a lady who wanted me to call her at 7:30 in the morning, and believe me, I got to work at 7:15 to call her at 7:30 in the morning. I got IT to unlock that phone after she sent me a written request saying, "Yes, I give you permission to call me at 7:45 in the morning, at 7:30 in the morning." I called her at 7:30 in the morning to collect her payment because she was working 12-hour shifts, and she said by the time she got home, I will be gone. So yes, I did that. All right. Now you cannot call or text anyone. I don't care who it is, what relationship you have, unless you have their written permission to call outside of these times, you cannot call anyone before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m. their time zone. Let me tell y'all how some of y'all gonna get mixed up. A lot of y'all call Texas. A lot of y'all have Texas markets. You have a Chicago market. You have a Milwaukee market. You're in Arizona. You're in Nevada. You're in California. You have a Washington State, Oregon. You guys have all of these markets. And not none of you know which time zone they are. You don't. A lot of you are starting to wholesale Denver. A lot of you wholesale Arizona and don't realize Arizona doesn't adhere to the time change. So they don't fall back or spring ahead. They stay the same time every time. Hawaii is the same way. Alaska is the same way. So y'all, you cannot call these people. Some of you live in Atlanta, North Carolina. You live in Georgia, North Carolina, New York, and you're or like I had one wholesale partner, she lived in Hawaii. She lived in Hawaii, so she had to get up at the crack of dawn to call New York State. You see what I'm saying? So you have to adhere to those time zones. Like right now, it's 8:40 p.m. on the East Coast. In 20 minutes, you can't call nobody on the East Coast. That's why I said the young man that called me last night at 11:54 p.m. If I wanted to be a snot, I could call him. I could get him in some big major trouble. But I'm not that type of person. I just know he don't know what he's doing. I know it even more because I called and talked to him today, and he really didn't know what he was doing. So that's that. Okay. All right. What's the time zones? 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. their time zone. So if it is 8:40 here, it's only 5:40 in California because they're 3 hours behind. But it's 9:40 in Puerto Rico. See what I'm saying? Because Puerto Rico is literally an hour ahead of us sometimes. Certain parts of Puerto Rico is an hour ahead of us. So you got to adhere to those time zones. Okay, pumpkins. All right, now don't say I didn't warn y'all. Don't come crying to me when you get hit with these fines and these violations. Because I'm telling you now not to do that. But y'all not gonna listen. Y'all will not listen. I don't understand why. You don't listen to your internet cousin. I don't know why. Now, you must immediately. No, wait, I'm sorry. Some states have, oh, yeah, that's another thing I forgot to tell you. Some states have even stricter restrictions on when you can call. So you better look up the times, the regulations for phone calls in the state that you're calling in. And I know for a fact one of them I can think of right off the top of my head is Pennsylvania. If I'm remembering my collector law. Pennsylvania is one. I think certain parts of Illinois, they have some too. I think I want to say Utah, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on the Utah thing, but I know for a fact it's Pennsylvania. They don't allow phone calls. Sometimes they don't. Some states don't allow phone calls after 7 or after 8. You need to find out what your state law says. Okay. All right, just telling y'all, because I know somebody out there is violating the law right now. I know it. Okay. Now, caller ID and disclosure requirements. Didn't think that was gonna come up, did you? Your caller ID must be accurate and display a legitimate phone number. You know how you get those scam likely calls? You call back, they say this number is disconnected. You can't do that no more. Mm-mm. Nope. That number has the number that they list has to has to connect to an actual phone or an actual voicemail that a person can leave a voicemail and somebody's going to check it and call them back. They cannot, or an actual phone where somebody's going to answer. You cannot I'm telling you now, violate this law if you want to. There's some hefty fines associated with this. I'm gonna tell y'all the fines in a minute. Y'all gonna then they get you to act right. Now, caller ID and disclosure requirements. Your caller ID must be accurate and display a legitimate phone number. You must immediately disclose your identity and state the purpose of the call is to discuss a real estate opportunity. Now, if you are or have been in any of my coaching for wholesaling, you already got the script, you already know. That's the first thing we do. We verify who we're talking to and then we introduce ourselves and we state why we're calling. That is why that's in there because I know the law. Okay? You must immediately disclose your identity and state the purpose of the call is to discuss a real estate opportunity. So, y'all with me? Okay. I don't want to hear it when y'all get violated because trust me, the people you calling, they know the law. They know the law. They looking to get rich off you. I'm just telling you. Now, opting out, number 5 we're on. This is we're still within the same TCPA law, okay? The Consumer Telephone Protection Act. We still talking about it. Okay. Now we're on section 5, opt out mechanisms. If you are sending marketing text messages, you must provide a way for recipients to opt out. You know how you get these people text you and you be like, stop. They have to have a way to be opted out. Okay. Now, an opt out request have to be honored immediately and they have to be added to your internal do not call list. All right, pumpkins. All right. Don't say I didn't warn you because it's coming. Don't say I didn't warn you now. Because I know some of y'all be like, Delisa didn't tell us that. Yes, I did. All right. Now, penalties for violations. If you violate the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, okay, violating this will cost you a minimum of $500 for each offense. So if you call somebody and they said do not call and you call them 2 more times, it's $1,000 because you called them twice more after they told you not to. A minimum of $500 and up to $1,500 per unauthorized call or text. Okay? Don't play with me. Now, the best practices for compliance is to use a manual dialer whenever possible. Get written consent. If you're using auto dialers or bulk texting, get their consent. How do they opt in? Like if they, and you'll notice now underneath the, like when you opt in, when you're on social media and they say, hey, click here to get this free ebook, click here to join my webinar, click here to get this free checklist. Whenever you click here and you put your name, your email, and your phone number in there to get text messages, there's a box right underneath that says, I understand by checking this by filling out this form. I'm signing up for electronic communication, blah, 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 whatever it says. That's why you're going to start seeing that. If you don't check that, you're not going to get whatever the freebie is that you want. You ain't getting it. Okay? Just saying that. You ain't getting it. All right. Now, so what I want you guys to do, get your freebie. And if you don't want to get communication from these people, opt out as soon as you start getting whatever it is, the text message or the emails, just unsubscribe or hit stop and keep it moving. You don't want it anymore. Okay. So now that's your written consent though, because you check that box. So in case you were wondering, how are they going to get written consent? That's how they get written consent. And then you can text and call them all day if you want to. That's how they calling you. But you are not allowed to mass text anyone without their permission. That's why a lot of these mass text platforms like Textedly and Easy Texting, and what's that, Constant Contact, and all those other ones. That's why you can't, and Community, that's why you can't do it anymore. Okay, so waste of time getting those unless you have a drop shipping store, unless you want to use it to get in contact with other wholesalers, or you want to build a list of other wholesalers and text message, and you want to text out when your properties are available. You can do that, but you can't do it to cold call anymore. It's against the law. All right. Scrub phone numbers. This is best practices to keep in compliance. Scrub phone numbers against the National Do Not Call Registry regularly. Keep your records of consent, opt-outs, and call logs. If you use a text service, this is done for you. You just have to print the reports out to keep them up to date. Okay. Provide an easy opt-out process in all communications. If you are emailing, have it where they can unsubscribe. I got a person right now, he emails me almost every other day, and I cannot unsubscribe from this email for some reason. I have now just reverted to replying to his message and say, please remove me from your list. If you don't, you are in violation of the TCPA and you can be fined. And that's when they finally take me off their list, because nobody wants their smoke. Okay, now, is that it? Y'all good? All right, the next law, application to person. Y'all didn't know this was a law, did y'all? Application to person messaging regulations for real estate wholesalers. Message ATP is called A2 with the number 2, P is in Paul, A is in Apple. That's the abbreviation for A2P. Messaging refers to business-related text messages sent to consumers via automated systems. For real estate wholesalers, compliance with A2P 10 DLC regulations for sending text message via a 10-digit long codes is crucial to avoid message filtering, fines, and account suspensions. Y'all ready for this? Second law. Okay, registration requirements, mandatory registration. Businesses using A2P messaging must register with the campaign registry, TCR, meaning you have to register your campaign with TCR, which is called the campaign registry, via their messaging provider. So Twilio, Ring Central, Textedly, Easy Texting, Community, which one ever you're using, you have to register your campaign. Okay. Business and campaign verifications. You must provide details about your business and how you intend to use messaging, lead generation, marketing, transactional updates. Unregistered numbers get blocked. And carriers on AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile may filter or block your unregistered messages from reaching their clients. Consent. Prior express consent. I told you, you got to have these people consent before you just start texting people. You must obtain clear, documented permission before sending marketing or promotional text messages. Sorry. That means don't send no damn text messages. That's all that means. Okay. Keyword opt in. Consumers must take an action such as replying yes or submitting their number via a web form, which is what y'all all do. We all do it. I just did it earlier today. We all do it before receiving messages. Transactional messages. Messages related to existing business relationships, appointment confirmations, Calendly. So if you, here's how, this is what a transactional message is. When you book a call with me to do a strategy session, you book your call with me, you're going to get automated text messages. Why? Because you're going to get one confirming the appointment that you just set. Then you're going to get one that is going to remind you of when the appointment is, and you're going to get one an hour before the appointment reminding you again. If you opt out, you won't get that anymore. It's just that simple. Okay. Message content. They even have restrictions on the type of content you can put in. Prohibited content. Loan offers. You cannot offer anybody a loan through a text messages. High risk financial services and misleading claims. Shaft content. Sexual content, hate content, alcohol, firearms, tobacco. Shaft. You can't promote any of that through a text message. Deceptive or spam like messages. Urgent, sell your home now. Don't do that. That's not allowed. Allowed messaging for wholesalers, specifically for wholesalers. Seller lead inquiries with consent. Appointment confirmations and reminders. And property updates for buyers and investors if they've already opted in. So once you're under contract and they say, yes, you can text me, you can text them about their property. Okay, pumpkins? All right now. Don't, I'm telling y'all, don't say Delisa said we could do. No. And I keep my videos for proof in case we have to go to court one day, honey. No, I didn't say that. Okay. Now, opt out compliance. Well, number 4 for the A2P. Every marketing message must include an opt out. So anytime, even though they opted in themselves voluntarily, every time you send a text message, it should have an opt out option. Opt out requests must be honored immediately or you will get a fine. Maintain your own internal do not text list, do not call list, and you have to keep track of it. Throughput and carrier fees. Registered A2P and the 10-digit long code, senders get higher messages through throughput, fewer delays and fewer box because you're calling from a 10-digit phone number and you're calling to a 10-digit phone number. So it's like a normal phone call going through. Now, here are the penalties. The carrier fees have some fees may apply. That's what they're saying. Some networks charge extra fees for this, for you texting their people, mass texting their people. Now, here are the penalties for you not being compliant. Message blocking. Unrestricted A2P numbers have messages filtered and or blocked. Fines and lawsuits. Violating the A2P, TCP, or the DNC, do not call list. Regulations can lead, like I said before, from $500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 500. 5. Okay? And you will get fined up to from $500 to $1,500. Okay? Per violation. So say you have 3 violations with the same person and they like, you know what, we tired of you because you done did this before with somebody else. But now this time we're going to hit you with $1,500. That's $4,500. How about $4,500 just throw in the air just because? And then don't get me wrong. That $4,500 is going to the government because you violated that federal law. That person you violated that law with can still sue you for damages. So it's going to be more than $4,500. Just so you know. Okay. Now, account termination. the service provider, Textedly community, easy texting, batch leads, all that, they can suspend your they can ban your account for you violating. Okay. All right now. Now here's what you can do. And then we're gonna wrap this up. Now answer some questions if y'all want me to. We can wrap this up tonight because I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. Register your business for A2P with a reputable provider, somebody who does well, somebody who's compliant, somebody who's going to give you the tools that you need so that you stay compliant. And you want to know who that is? Textedly, easy texting, community. Those are the three that I've tried and used. I'm not giving you no more. I done gave you that. Okay. I personally love Textedly. That's my favorite one. Just putting it out there. It's easy, it's user friendly, it's cheap, and I don't want to say cheap. We're gonna stop saying cheap in 2025. It's reasonably priced. And and they give you keywords. They have a tiered payment system, meaning, if you want one keyword, which is say sellers, that's one keyword, or buyers. So say you want to use this service to text your buyers list whenever you have a home. That would be the most I would use it for, because I stopped doing mass texting once this law changed. So now I manually text though, because I can. It says you can manually text. It says you can, but you need permission to auto text or mass text. All right. Okay. Now, obtain written consent before you start sending all these marketing messages. Now, another way you could do this, for those of us who run ads, and we always say, hey, if you're interested in selling your home, fill out this form and call us. Well, put the disclaimer in there. I understand I may receive text messages from this company. Boom. Now you can text them. Just saying. Include clear opt-out instructions. Whenever you send a text, they have to be able to opt out. Avoid misleading and aggressive language in your text messages. Some of y'all crazy. I could tell you something. I could read you some of the ones I got, because I have some houses that I'm wholesaling on Zillow right now, and the people crazy. The people be peopling. Okay. This is the text message I got. It says, "Hi, this is with blank blank REI. We saw your for sale by owner property. We like to give you a cash offer of," and they give me the cash offer. "We understand it's below asking price, but after running an analysis of the rehab costs and comps for rehab properties in the area, that's the number we came to. If you'd like to schedule a call to further discuss and give us more details of the property, our offer could increase. Please let me know what day and time is best for you to chat." Nothing wrong with that. Then they text me about another one I happen to. They must be marketing one specific property. Well, they must be marketing Syracuse, because that's where my properties are right now. Okay, so that's what you have to do. You monitor the message deliverability and adjust campaigns if you need to. So if you got text messages and it keeps saying undeliverable, take those out, because that means that number is no longer valid. Just saying. All right. All right. Now, y'all, I hope this helps. I hope this gives you what you need. Because y'all be tripping. And I'm just telling you, there is nothing else. There's nothing else I can tell you about these two laws that I haven't told you already. Make sure you are following these laws to the letter. Because when I tell you, I have seen, working in collections, I've seen collectors get fined, I've seen collectors get fired. This is your business, so can't nobody fire you but you. But however, The law can step in and take your business away. I've seen that happen to some collection agencies too. So be good, be great, be legal. Okay, pumpkins? All right. I'm just trying to tell the people. Y'all don't want to understand. Y'all don't want to believe me. Y'all think I'm just out here talking and huffing and puffing just because I can. Now, if for some of you, I got a couple of emails today asking me, telling me that the link to the free training, they couldn't access it today. That's right. You couldn't access it today. And the reason why is because that link was only available to you until 11:59 p.m. on Monday. Today is Thursday. I had the wholesaling course free to everyone for about a week. So it's not available. However, the DIY kit is available if you want to click the link or you want to hit me up, say, hey, if you DM me the word wholesale, I'll send you the link to the DIY kit. With that kit, you're going to get the entire training for you're going to get over 5 hours of training, pre-recorded video training, 8 different contracts that's used in the wholesaling process, and the workbook with all the guides that goes along with the training videos. The workbook and the guides goes along with the training videos. So if that is what you need, that is what you want, be my guest, please. Like I said, wholesale me. DM me the word wholesale, and I will send you the link to purchase the DIY kit. That's it. That's all. For those of you who have joined me in the Creative Academy, February 6th, which is next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be starting with seller financing. And we're going to do all things seller financing. I'm going to talk to you and give you all the information you need about seller financing. And that's going to be our first class, how to acquire, what properties are prime seller finance candidates, and so on and so forth. We're going to go that route. Okay. So make it do what it do, baby. And if you're still interested in signing up for the Creative Finance Academy, the link is still available. The sale is still on. I have a one-time payment option. We have a 4-month option, and we have a 12-month option now. So if you want to pay for the whole year, you can pay for the whole year. You're just going to pay a little bit more than what the one-time fee would be. Okay. Now, anyhow, it has been fun. It has been real. I'm going to go and finish. I gotta go clean my room. See, normal stuff that people do. It's 9 o'clock at night. Yes, I'm getting ready to strip my bed, change my bed so I can get into a nice, clean, warm bed because I'm cold, I am tired, and I am ready to go to bed. So I always tell you guys this, and you never believe me, but if this is your first time, don't let it be your last. And if you've been here before, thank you for always supporting your girl and the endeavors around here. And I hope to see you soon. Hope you become one of the 100 people that I help start their real estate business this year. Also, you can choose to be anything you want in this world. I just hope you choose to be kind, because at some point in your life, somebody has been kind to you. And it's always good to pay kindness forward. I like to pay it forward. So if you, not only does it make you a good person, but it makes the world a much better place if we all do it. And I believe after the sad accident yesterday with the plane and the helicopter in DC, we can all use a little kindness. So please say a prayer for their families and their friends and anybody else connected to them, so that we pray that they find peace and some type of understanding in this whole situation. Alrighty, guys, it is time for me to sign it off. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always hit me up in my DMs, or you can email divasupport@tag716.com. Alrighty, I will talk to you mañana. Bye-bye.